So today we're going to change the tensioner and the Serpentine belt on my 2022 AT4 GMC 2.8 liter Duramax engine. I don't typically do videos that are automotive related, but the type of videos I do are instructional. I looked on YouTube to see if I could find another video to help me change the Serpentine belt. I've never done this job before, but I'm actually going to walk you through exactly what I did. You can see my mistakes or where I had to go back and redo something. If you don't need the instructional portion of this, just fast forward to the section that you're interested in. But for those that want to actually see where the pitfalls are, what type of tools I used and all that, just hang in there. And I think that this video is going to do you real good. Let's get to work. Now I put my stethoscope right on the pulley, and the pulley is at fault here. I'd actually done some searching on YouTube and I couldn't find a decent video that showed the guys actually taking this thing apart. So here we are, just to give myself a little bit more room, using a T30 socket for this. Okay, so now that we got that off, we're going to just try and get ourselves a little bit more room in here because it's tight already. And I'm going to remove, actually I'm not going to remove the bolt because I think it's not necessary. The bolt that's in here, and I'll access it through over here. And on this side here, I will back off that bolt right there. And that's so I can take the shroud and pull it away from the motor, give myself just a little bit more room. So I've got a 13 millimeter socket here on those. And I think I found the combination that works the best to get in here. Actually, I got it loose now. And what I'm using is a little swivel here with 13 millimeter socket on it. Now that's a real pain in the ass actually to get to that bolt, so I do not want to remove it entirely if I don't have to. So you can see how I've got that just pulled out enough, and I'll get the shroud out of the way. We got one side done, let's go to the other side. So just a little bit of a precaution here. The fins are very sharp here on the edges. I may actually take a file and round that off a little bit. I'm just getting started. We're already drawing blood here, so. Okay, so we've gotten ourselves a little bit more room to work in here just by backing those bolts off. They're quite difficult to get to, so I definitely wouldn't recommend removing them. It's going to be that much harder to get them back on. So let's get on to the next step here. So next I'm going to put my 1/2 inch drive ratchet in here. See if we can't release the tension here. And what I plan to do is on this pulley right here, I'm going to see if I can't slip that belt off on that there pulley. But before we actually do that, we should take some pictures and make sure that we get our belt routing proper, or draw a diagram. So if you look in your Duramax supplement manual here, on page 66, it's actually got it is the correct belt routing here for this particular engine. I just verified that, but if you don't have your manual, either take a picture of your screen here right now, or just simply make a sketch. So I've got the new tensioner that I'll be putting in here, and if you look at the one video actually said to go this way, I'm actually thinking it needs to go this way. So let's find out. If you look down here, you're going to see the belt loosen off as I move that tensioner. You can see it loosen off there. See that? Okay, so that's the way that you need to go, to the passenger side. So I'm going to try and slip that belt off on the other side and film it at the same time. Go a little further than that. Well, it's not a lot of room. Okay, there we go. Come on. I see that mounting bracket here is in the way. Should still be able to sneak by there though. I wonder if I can get it off on the alternator. Really like to be able to get it over the alternator, because getting it back on is going to be definitely a challenge if we can't do it that way. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now my wrench is stuck in there. So what I'm going to do is just to take a screwdriver, go straight down into here and pry that out so I can get my ratchet out of there, maybe. And if not, let's just take those bolts off and get this tensioner out of here. And those are 13 millimeter. There's no tension on this bolt here. Should just be able to pull it straight out. Except for my wrench being in the way. Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. That's straight there. Should just come straight out. Now let's take a look and see the placement of the belt once we get this out, because I have a feeling we're going to have to do something creative there. No. Okay, good thing we filed all those things. Now to get the puzzle to unfold with this. Oh, it's really tight in there, that's for sure. I just want to not force things because I want to be able to make sure I can get my new belt on there without nicking anything. Okay, so I'm going to try taking this bracket here off. Thinking I can probably take one side off and I might not have to actually take the whole bracket off. I can get my wrench on there. Okay, so I got one off. Maybe I can just loosen the other one. It's funny, I was looking at videos where guys have done the timing belts, and man, they've all done this just to get to the timing belt, but nobody's actually explained everything they had to go through to get the Serpentine belt off. Kind of nuts. So let's see if that helps here. Yes, it does. Okay, so now it comes out even, easy. So that's that part done. Yeah, I'm just gonna start with where I ended with that belt routing. I do like that you don't have to actually go over the fan. That's kind of good. Okay, so that belt was flip with the ribs up. On that part. Okay, so I've decided to start right here where I left off, and the reason I'm doing that, so we can see the ribs are up. That's where they were when I took all that out, and I'm going to actually put the motor bracket back on at this point because it'll hold that belt there from slipping off as I start winding things through here. But just before we end up doing that, I want to actually rotate my other shivs here, make sure there's no excessive play in anything. Alternator as well, you know, everything just kind of spins the way that it should. See any other issues here, so I'm just gonna continue on. I'll be routing that belt as per the drawing, and I'll check back in. It's just a little bit too tight to video while I'm doing that, but you know what, let's just try. Main thing is just not to get that belt flipped around while you're trying to work here. So we're gonna get the belt on the lower shiv here. Okay, so I've got the drive belt all lined up here, with the exception of this, which I just kind of doubled back here because I'm gonna see if I can't make this my last connection. And so I've got it all routed properly, but we have to now install the tensioner. Okay, so try not to drop this here this time, eh? Okay, so I'm just gonna get one bolt in first. Just get one started here. Okay, so one is hanging on there, and then I'll get my belt onto the pulley here, and then I'll put the other bolt in. If you guys have at all found this helpful, I'd really appreciate the subscribe. I've been doing YouTube videos here for over a year, still looking to get my first 1,000 subscribers. Okay, so that's what I got to do with getting that on there. Hopefully my tensioner is going to allow me to actually make that connection, that there's enough play in there, but we'll see. I just wanted to show you what I'm using here in the square hole in the tensioner. I'm actually using a 3/8 drive ratchet, and I've got an adapter here going 3/8 to 1/2 inch. I just find it just works as a really good extension. It's short enough that it's just short enough to use, so that's it's been real beneficial here on this particular job, that's for sure. One thing I will say about this socket here is you want to make sure that it's fully engaged in there, because you're going to run into some problems if you're not. Okay, there we go. It just goes. Nice. Okay, so we got all our tension on the belt here. Now the last thing we need to do is tighten up our shroud bolts here. One there, and that's it, we're all done. Well, you can definitely expect to get cut up a little bit. I got cut up on both arms here. I'll tell you what, if you want to say thanks, hit the subscribe button, really appreciate it. We'll see you at the next one.